Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning, good evening, and good night to all of you who watch this video. So, my name is Nurhidayah Binti Hasbullah. I am from JAC 2202A. My ID number is 2020496178. Today we gonna explain about one of article that we selected, which is sustainable growth in SME, a review from Malaysian Perspective. Before that, let me introduce my teammate. Let's go!
Hi, Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Aida Adani Binti Abd Aziz from class 2A. My ID number is 2020896332.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Afizah Binti Muhammad Razikin with student ID 2020872524 from class JAC 2202A.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurhidayah Nadirah binti Muhammad Satar. My ID number is 2020608784. Okay, today I want to present about concept of sustainability.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nadhirah binti Shamarol Fuad with an ID number 2020896288, and I am from class 2A, and in this video I will present about the future perspective of sustainable growth on SME.
Hi everyone. So today our group will be discussing an article topic a review from Malaysian Perspective regarding sustainable growth in small and medium enterprises. So, do you think small and medium enterprises actually do contribute to Malaysia's economy? Actually, yes. SME's contribution to the overall GDP has increased to 38.9% in 2019 compared to 38.3% recorded in 2018. In 2019, SMEs employed about 7.3 million people, showing an increase of 3% from the previous year. The hiring volume was highest in the services sector with 33.2% of total SME employment, mainly in wholesale and retail trade, food and beverages, and accommodation subsectors. That is why there are numerous theoretical and empirical perspective suggestions and findings supporting the significant contribution of SMEs to the economic growth of all countries in the world, including Malaysia. In the meantime, the economic effects from the COVID-19 pandemic and the implementation of the MCO certainly have an impact on SME performance. The government has implemented various initiatives to support SMEs in restarting their businesses and gearing towards recovery. It includes both non-financial and financial support involving large amounts of budget allocation every year. For example, the announcement of Prihatin package and more recently, the Pelan Jana Semula Ekonomi Negara Penjana. The contribution of SMEs to the GDP of the country, however, has not increased very much. Besides, it was reported that many SMEs in Malaysia were unable to sustain their businesses within the first 5 years. Awareness of the importance of sustainable growth among small and medium-sized businesses has led to the presence of different meanings and concept of sustainable growth. So, what is sustainable growth? This time we will discuss on the concept of sustainable development, defining growth, and the interplay between sustainability and sustainable growth.
The concept of sustainability is thus root from sustainable development. Although many use the term sustainable development and sustainability interchangeable, they are inherently different, in which From the first perspective is sustainable development is the journey or process to achieve sustainability, and the second perspective is sustainability is the process to achieve sustainable development. Sustainability has been treated as an umbrella term that covers various issues, concepts, practice, and way of thinking that are complex, and its concept remain theoretical and abstract, leading to various research proposing different definitions depending on how it is approached and perspective. More than 70 different definitions are proposed by various studies depending on how the sustainability is approached and perceived. Even though the aim of sustainability is to secure intergenerational equity, its meaning yet remaining elusive. The disagreement on the definition and concept further aggregated the misconception of the term living in it is as another theoretical and abstract concept. There is no continuous definition of sustainability that remains an ill-defined term. The existence of characteristic differential of the term depending on how, who, and why the term are analyzed. The definition of sustainability across disciplinary concepts include human capability to maintain the well-being of all for long-term period. In the new economic model of Malaysia, sustainability refers to attaining stewardship and preservation of the net. The current objective for new economic model is without compromising future generation by effective stewardship and preventive of the natural environment and non-renewable resource. The term sustainability has been overused and misused by researchers depending on the actor that lead to various interpretations. There are two main concepts of Brundtland report. Firstly is the need for the poor, and the secondly is the limit on the environment to make future. Two noticeable aspects the original theme of defining the Brundtland report that have been shifted. Why? The two main concepts is shifted from human needs to human rights. From the original trade-off between the two aspects of environmental and social to more focus on the environment at the expenses of social issues. The emphasis of the world poor as promoted in Brundtland is not given much attention. The above are some of the common criticisms being raised on sustainable development, such as vagueness of the concept of itself, its measure difficulties, and its oxymorous nature of the perception of the concept. In the Malaysia SME Master Plan published by SME Corporation as the Secretariat to National SME Development Council (NSDC), not much attention has been given to the environmental aspect of the development plan, with more have been given to aspect of the development plan with more have been given to environmental aspect. NSDC, National SME Development Council, not much attention has been given to the environmental aspect of the development plan, with more has been given emphasis on the economic factor and social factor. Whom are the productive resources of the economy have significant impact on the sustainability development and sustainability. Consequently, the operationalization of the term and concept in the business context soon receive immediate attention, giving rise of the sustainability reporting of the triple bottom line (TBL). TBL used interchangeably with sustainability. What is this TBL? What's mean by TBL? What is triple bottom? From the business perspective, it means the strategy and activities to achieve the three integrated goals of economic, environmental, and social dimension. These activities are termed the triple bottom line of 3PS: profit, planet, and people. Triple bottom line (TBL) in economic belief that companies should commit to focusing on social and environmental concerns as they do on profit. TBL theory posits that instead of one bottom line, there should be three profit: profit, people, and planet. A TBL seeks to gauge a corporation's level of commitment to corporate social responsibility and its impact on the environment over time. The accounting framework of triple bottom line, a term, is the dominant concept in sustainability literature that encourages a more balanced reporting of overall business performance on the 3PS. The concept is more than just accounting and reporting in the corporate report, but include in the business decision and assessment of the risks, obligation, and opportunities of all financial, social, and environmental fronts. In fact, the triple bottom of social, economic, and environmental factor was aptly described in the definition of sustainability development by United Nations 1989 Brundtland Commission. Besides the three dimensions, sustainability is business has also been linked to corporate social responsibility (CSR) ethical concern and the element of time. TBL is not short of criticism, particularly its measurement approach and integration of the three dimensions of profit, people, and planet factor. The road to achieve the unknown goals and benefit, the direction and strategies need to be taken, and the trade-off between cost or economic element and protecting the environment by reducing the carbon footprint and fostering social responsibility remain elusive. Muntaba mentioned that the current sustainability logic of the trade-off between reducing the environmental harm and social survival while achieving increasing profit will not lead to true sustainability. From the business perspective, sustainable development can be defined as collective strategies and activities undertaken by the firm to achieve the current objective of its stakeholder while assuring the needs of future generations. It means integrating the dimension of triple bottom line of economic, environmental, and social in their plan and achieving all three goals at the same time the profit. As the result, sustainability has been used to describe both the process, for example, sustainability business and others, and the activities that are aimed to be sustainable in the light of sustainable agriculture and others. The above I tell in the discussion illustration the concept and usage of sustainability over various subject matters such as sustainability education, sustainable university, sustainable building, sustainable procurement, sustainable operation, and many more of sustainability. This phenomena has created confusion and abuse of the meaning of the phrase leading to different objectives, warranting immediate scholarly attention to clarify and delineate the objective of sustainable growth in emerging content. Unified definition of sustainable growth needs to be brought forward, explaining the concept that should not be able to describe sustainable growth, but also set its perimeter right and in order to avoid any ambiguity that might arise while interpreting the concept. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hi everyone. My name is Nurhidayah Binti Hasbullah, and today I will present about defining sustainable growth. Actually, this is from article Sustainable Growth in SME, a review from Malaysian Perspective. If you read this article, actually there are many terms of defining sustainable growth. But for my reviews, I have selected 5 terms that I will explain for you. So let's move on to the first point, which is from Huang and Yi 2009, Alayami and Akintoye 2015, Rose Westerfield and Jordan 2010. So in their study, actually they are more focused on financial standpoint, which they define sustainable growth as denote growth within the firm's financial constraint without increasing its financial leverage. As we all know, sustainable growth is the necessary condition for survival and development of the enterprise, and it taught as the skill of to measure the strength of the enterprise. Other than making a profit, setting leverage on sustainable growth also important because based on leverage effect, investor can consider to invest and finance before they making a decision. So we move on to the next point, which is my second terms of sustainable growth, which is from Huang et al. 2009. Okay, they define sustainable growth as the ability of the firms to achieve its objective and shareholders' value through a concerted effort to integrate economic, environmental, and social activity into their strategies. Not all SMEs are able to achieve all these 3 factors to incorporate as their missions and objective. So from this statement, we can see that when we build a firm, we must set objectives which are content aspect economic, friendly, environmental, and social. So for my third point is from Ali Ismail, Huram Sohod and Umar, 2014. Jeffrey Ismail Huram and Sohod 2014 and Ismail Jeffrey Huram and Sohod 2012. Actually, in their article, they define sustainable growth as achieving growth without having financial, structural, or strategy setback. The author are actually focus on women-owned technoprises. They say that women entrepreneur skills are very different compared to a man entrepreneur. Women-owned business mostly labeled as a low growth compared to men, and the biggest dilemma for women when lead is to maintaining and achieving a sustainable growth. Other than that, Markleaf and Long, Owen and Legally, also Kopnina, say that the word sustainable itself has generally perceived as able to maintain or continue to last, endlessly increasing or ongoing with time frame referring to long future indefinitely. The firm Their point said that the firm needs to affirming and sustaining their objective without jeopardizing their long-term survival. So also Meng want to add their decision as the sustainability involve two dimensions, which first is a dimension of time. They say that through maximizing current benefit while promoting future growth. Secondly is dimension of place through increasing distributive justice in human society. It means that sustainability need to improve quality of life and social justice by fostering equal economic opportunity to people, reducing poverty and economic externality, and decreasing internal disruption like war, corruption, and so on. So to conclude all terms that I have been shared in the previous slide, there is three aspects that emphasize sustainable growth in SME. This study can has the idea that sustainable SMEs development must meet continuous financial goal and result without endangering their long sustainability. That way, the continuous growth in this study can be regulated, maintained, and affordable. So the first aspect that emphasizes sustainable growth in SME is environmental. Why? Because the development of this small and medium enterprise must achieve financial efficiency that enhance environmental factors such as growing resources, minimizing waste, reuse and recycle resources in order to achieve economic benefit. And then number two is social, which is by growing the efficiency and development of the company will be able to achieve long-term viability by providing consistent job opportunity. The social well-being of employees in terms of the workplace would then drive the long-term engagement of employees in organization. And last but not least, the aspect that emphasizes sustainable growth in SME is economic, which from an economic viewpoint, sustainable development would rely on optimal planning for the best utilization of energy in order to achieve optimum benefit, or we call it as a profit. And then when all three aspects we achieve at the same time, the profit factor become an important element of sustainable growth. So that's all from me.
Next, we will discuss about sustainable growth of SME. First, SME will face challenge in order to avoid failure in economy, such as to be sustainable, to become sustainable, and the most important is to remain sustained in economic, because researchers found out many SME companies had failed in the journey uh, with many reasons to the failure. Next, sustainable growth can be an indicator of success to SME because it brings benefits and importance, such as first, to ensure ability of firms to finance its long-term future development, to survive on long term, and for a long-term development of national economies. Next, it will bring higher returns and higher productivity to SME. It's happened due to the cost of reductions and control employee rate. The benefits is also to control and manage firm growth. Next is strategies and plan. Researchers found out that sustainable company can survive only when the basis they connected to ecosystem such as practice well-balanced financial, environmental, and social investments as strategies.
Hi, I'm Aliyah and I will continue to present about the future perspective on sustainable growth of SME. Sustainable growth literally refers to sustained success, which is the capacity of the business to accomplish its growth objective within a specific period and given a particular context. As we already know, there are around 98.5% of business establishment in Malaysia are SME, or the meaning of SME that we know as small and medium entrepreneurship. Based on this article, there are many research about the sustainable growth in SME, but what they found is the knowledge on continuous growth or growth over longer period of time is limited. In 2011, Shimke and Brenner found that the factors affecting firms' continuous growth and firms' growth at one point in time are different based on the study using a panel data on 178 German small and medium-sized manufacturing firms from 1992 to 2007. There are various models of specific factors that are affecting sustainable growth based on the few items from the researcher, which is the 4 factors of learning, culture, relationship and management durability, autonomy and profitability, entrepreneur's characteristic, innovation, strategic and strategist networking, the psychological traits, capital structure and resources, innovative capability, culture, system and strategy. Research for the sustainable growth has been based on large company listed, which is the financial market, Exim Broses, London Stock Exchange, Chinese GEM, Bucharest Stock Market, and Bursa Saham Malaysia. The urgent need for the sustainable SME growth model is very clear. To create sustainable company, it is important to identify the factors that prevent and drive sustainable company growth. But it needs more than those factors because it must be able to leverage the company's resources and capabilities to produce sustainable growth. Regretful growth is rare as most companies do not grow. Other than that, sustained growth has not been addressed in past research and no effort has been made to discuss whether the growth is temporary or continuous, except for various mathematical models to determine the maximum or sustainable growth of a company. There is still a lack of knowledge of the prerequisite for sustainable growth model. For example, is based from article written and researched by Nurhidayah Rahim. She stated one of the mathematical models the SME use, or we known as SME growth rate. Next is on the recent research by Orser et al. Found that the actual growth of the company in future is influenced by the intention of their entrepreneurs. The meaning of entrepreneurs is a person who set up a business or businesses taking on financial risk in the hope of profit. In general, the growth of company depends on the mindset of entrepreneurs, which is their visions, attitudes, and perception. Also stated by the 3 researchers, which is Bulnova, is second and collaborate. Business growth is influenced by the attitude of entrepreneurs toward the expected growth. There are various factors that influence the growth intention of entrepreneurs, depending on the way they view and interpret barriers. Besides that, in the recent report about the sustainable growth in SME, it has been found that intangible resources and capability are important to contribute to sustainable growth, and it shows a positive influence on competitive advantage and growth. On 2014, Kamasa stated that to determine the sustainable growth of SME, they should not only limited to single or few intangible factors, but more importantly, the intangible factors must be included in the three levels of domain of SME, which is the entrepreneurs, enterprises, and the relationship with the ecosystem and external environment. As we can refer in this figure, it shows us the three levels of domain of SME, which is the entrepreneurs, the enterprises, and ecosystem and external environmental. All these domains are actually affected on the dimension of economic perspective of sustainable growth, which is financial, quality, environment, and social aspect that can grow and sustain the company. Thank you.
Overall, we have discussed about sustainable growth in SME through introductions, concept of sustainability, what is the definitions and future perspective of sustainable growth of SME with benefits, importance, strategies, and unparalleled directions through development and growth of SME sector provided to policymakers in order to achieve uh, goals of nations. Overall, as a conclusion, it's all about attentions to achieve sustainable growth of SME in order to help practitioners and policymakers to equip themselves with appropriate plans and strategies to sustain the growth of SME in economy. That's all from us. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.